What's up, everybody, and welcome into today's video. If you're new to the channel, my name is Dave. We are The Cream. We're a real estate channel and a personal development channel. Next month will be 3 years fully sober for me. And, I got a massive addictive personality, so I like to talk about alcohol and addiction and overcoming alcohol because I've walked the path. I'm walking the path right now, everybody. And it takes one to know one. So this particular video is about drinking alcohol, quitting drinking alcohol. If you're thinking about quitting drinking alcohol, I'll give you some pointers, some things to expect, and just some things that I have experienced on my path, which will be 3 years, like I mentioned, next month. And I'm at a place now, I'm not counting days or anything like that. I just know October 23rd is my day. And, I was one of those drinkers. I always knew, everybody, that I had a problem with alcohol. I could never control it. Even when I was in high school and messing around and breaking into the, whatever, parents' liquor cabinet, I was by myself. I was the last person standing. I would be by myself drinking. And this is when I was young. My first memory of like issues with alcohol, I must have been 13. And I remember taking a cold beer from the fridge. And I figured out pretty quick that if I slam a beer, just one beer, 13-year-old kid, and drink it as fast as I can, I'm going to feel like, whoa, I'm going to feel different. I'm going to feel drunk. So I started doing that. I used to just do it. It's only one. And things have never, it went back to normal. I've never been a normal drinker. And if you're able to relate to that, kudos to you. Just so you know, here's the first takeaway from me quitting alcohol. Know this: if you are the same way, an addictive personality where you just can't stop, first off, it's a scientific thing. It's not a character thing. There's nothing wrong with you. In fact, I'm going to show you right now that it's the opposite. You are powerful. It's a gift. It's a gift to have this. We just got to hone this energy, and we got to channel the energy in the right direction, which we're going to do and we're going to talk about in this video. But it's a chemical thing in your brain. About 10% of the population has it, where when you introduce external substances, the endorphins in your brain, the chemicals in your brain just go crazy. It's a big party in your brain. And then you're just going to be reaching for more. It doesn't matter if it's alcohol, pills, Coke, the whole deal. So this is a gift. And I think by the end of this video, you'll see this is a gift and this is what we're going to do. And I can potentially help you on your path to honing this gift, and you're going to be a beast. It is an absolute gift. I would put all my money in a competition on the addict, on the recovering addict, because they're the resilient ones. They're the ones who will run through a wall. If you're watching this video and you have the same addictive traits that I do and that many of us do, you know what you'll do for another hit, another drink. You'll do anything. I can't tell you how many times I've been thrown out of bars, and I've actually stolen alcohol. I broke into a grocery store because it was after hours and stealing alcohol, and that was the path I was on because I just had to keep going. Once you start, you have to keep going. It's a chemical thing in your brain. So there's nothing wrong with you, right? This is just the way the chemicals in your brain work, and it does run in the family. I come from a family of alcoholics, and I come from a family of recovering alcoholics too. My sister, who I'm very proud of, and my brother-in-law, they're up in Cleveland, Ohio, and they're very active in the AA community, sober living, and I love that. Personally, I'm not an AA guy. However, I pulled these out because these came from my sister. Nice little, I got my chips here. What do we got? Here's 1 year. Here's 2 years. Here's a nice little prayer my sister got me. They're big in the game in the AA scene, and that's perfectly fine because you know what? There's a lot of value in birds of a feather flocking together. There's a lot of value in finding your tribe, and there's a lot of value in knowing that you're not alone. Okay? And I think AA will fill that void, especially if you're brand new to sobriety. I mean, you got to look at your lifestyle right now. If you're just thinking about quitting drinking alcohol, your life's about to change radically when you quit. And it's good to be around people who understand where you're coming from, because remember, only about 10% of the population have what we have. The gift is what I'm calling it. but it ain't so much a gift when it's applied to destructive behavior. I mean, it'll ruin your life. Alcohol has ruined more people's lives. Drugs and alcohol have ruined more lives than anything. I mean, it's absolutely insane. So, you making the move to get sober, if you even have the thought, okay, that you should quit, like maybe I should, you definitely should. And I'll tell you why. Reason being, is we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. Now, I'm not taking you down some rosy path of religion and we're going to read Bible quotes and all this bullshit. We're not that way. You're a soul. You don't have a soul. You are a soul. We all are. We're all connected into this, collective consciousness. We're all part of something much bigger. And you know it. You hear the voice of this higher power every time you get a gut feeling about something, your intuition, your conscience, you get a feeling, you get your spidey senses going on. You know what I'm talking about. That is the higher power communicating to you. And we must listen to it. So if your spidey senses are telling you maybe I should quit alcohol, I knew before I quit drinking, I knew forever I can't drink like a normal person. We stay, and that's why a lot of people need to hit rock bottom before they really make the plunge, because making the plunge to go sober is not easy. It's not that quitting the substance isn't easy. It's how are you going to live now? Changing your lifestyle so drastically. What are you going to say to people, right? The ego's job is to protect us from looking foolish and looking stupid, right? I had one foot in and one foot out on the sobriety thing for many years. And I remember I used to lie and like go to some party or bar. Oh, I'm on antibiotics. I can't drink. All the little lies that we tell because you don't want to drink. The reason you don't want to drink is because you can't drink like a normal human being. You know. So, but your ego is still afraid to see what people are going to say, or maybe you just don't have that self-confidence yet, where it's like, I've tried things and fell off the wagon so many times. I'm afraid to tell anybody that I'm really serious about it this time, because what are they going to say? Oh, you said that before, and then you went back to drinking. So we go through all of this internal crap on our path to quitting drinking alcohol. So what I'm going to share with you right now is just some tips on some of the things that I went through, and you'll probably experience it. Hopefully you get some value from this. So first and foremost, what goes on in a lot of our head is like, if I quit drinking and using drugs, I'm going to be so bored. Yes, that's because so much of your life is consumed by drugs and alcohol right now. And I get it. Because if you're not drinking by yourself, you're thinking about drinking. If you're not thinking about drinking, you're recovering from drinking. It is a lifestyle. It's hard work to drink heavy and to live that life. It is hard work and it consumes mass quantities of your time. So yes, there's going to be a lot of free time. And the key to this thing, it gets into the next thing, is we got to build our self-worth and we got to build our confidence. And the way we're going to be able to do that is by overcoming self-induced challenges, self-induced adversity. And the best way to do that is through working out and through a diet. And, use your obsessive personality that you apply to drinking and drugging, apply it to self-induced things. And the reason we want to self-induce adversity and challenges is because the way we're going to feel when we overcome these challenges is we're going to feel confident. And this is what it's all about. It's all about feeling natural, real confidence, getting all of your confidence from the work that you're doing, from overcoming the challenges that you're putting in front of your path. That's where you're going to get your confidence. That's where you're going to get your self-worth from. Right now, if you're still drinking and whatnot, you're probably getting your self-worth from how many likes you get on a post or what people are saying about you. You're so concerned. I get it. I've been here. It's taken me years just to get to where I'm at right now. But I remember when I was first quitting, what are people going to say about me? Who am I going to hang out with? There's going to be this massive void of time. What am I going to do with my time? There's all of this stuff going on in your head. So I'm here to let you know, we must fill the void with self-induced positive challenges for us to overcome. And when we overcome these challenges, you're going to feel confident. And when you start to build on this confidence, then you're going to be more confident telling people that you don't drink, right? We've got to just get started. And the best way to get started is start a new routine. We got to get into the gym And if you're not a gym person, you got to start putting some work into your body just to move your body. You know what? I'm not even telling you got to be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger bikini model here. I'm just saying we got to get our blood and oxygen level to new levels, because this is going to affect your brain. Your brain is going to be going crazy when you remove a major substance like drugs or alcohol. You've got to replace it with something. We're going to replace it with blood and oxygen. The only way to do that is to move our body. Okay. However, number one, you don't want to kill yourself right off the bat, simply because then you're not going to want to keep going. Consistency is more important than the volume of work that we're taking on. But we've got to do just enough adversity to where you genuinely feel proud. If it's too easy, you're not going to feel the pride that comes with accomplishing it. If it's too hard, you're probably not going to show up the next day. But that's the key, is being consistent. We must go daily, and we must pay attention to what we're ingesting, the food that we're eating, as well as the work we're putting out. And you don't even need a gym membership. I'm talking about, let's just start with some push-ups. It's, if you can't do that, let's start with some air squats. But let's set a commitment for ourselves. I'm going to do 10 air squats. I'm going to do 10 push-ups, whatever, and start building on that is very important. And here's the thing. The AA community, which I'm a big fan of, I'm not an AA guy, but my sister is heavy in the AA community. In fact, she's got me these chips right here. I got a 1-year chip, a 2-year chip, and I got a prayer chip. I'm not opposed to the AA thing. I think it's great. Birds of a feather flock together. I think it's great to be around people who can relate to what you're going through. But a lot of the AA thing, they basically tell you, and I guess there's some truth to this, where they're like, oh, you could just eat anything you want. They always got sugar. That's that alcoholic. But sugar, we love that sugar. When I first quit, I was eating full pints of fucking ice cream. I was just eating it, but I was justifying it in my mind, where I'm like, it's totally fine, because I'm not drinking. I was slamming food. And I blew up like a balloon, to the heaviest I've ever been in my life. And that actually affected my self-confidence a little bit. So yes, eating ice cream and sweets and tons of food is better than drinking. However, if what we're looking to do is build self-confidence, which I believe is the most important thing here as we go on this journey, sometimes gaining a bunch of weight is not going to go send you in the right direction when it comes to self-confidence. So we need to build self-worth, and the way we're going to do that is by overcoming self-induced challenges and adversity. The best way to do that is through monitoring our food, and then definitely putting in the work. Your self-worth is going to increase with the work that you're actually putting in, taking the action, right? And that's going to fill your time as well. It's very uncomfortable, or at least it was for me, in telling other people that you had quit drinking. And I don't know what it is. It could be that they're so used to the old you, right? I'm here to let you know, anyone who's your real friend does not want to or need you to be, a partner in their play of escaping reality. Real friends do not want you to escape reality. Real friends want what is best for you. So anyone who regularly is escaping reality themselves and changing their state through drugs and alcohol, it's not your real friend. Your whole relationship is likely built off of just escaping reality together. It's not even real. And yes, these people appear to be friends. I mean, these people you've been with for years and years and years. But misery loves company at the end of the day. And then, a lot of times people who drink a lot or do drugs, that of course they flock together, because then they don't feel as bad because they're not doing it themselves. I can't tell you, when I was drinking, I used to bring everybody into my circle. Even if you weren't a heavy drinker, I'm buying you shots. I'm getting you loaded because it makes me feel better about myself. But that is not a friend. That's somebody using you to cope and to feel better about themselves. So we need to pay attention to that. And I know it's going to be uncomfortable. It might be more comfortable just disassociating from the people that you're used to drinking and drugging with, rather than having to fess up and tell them, right? Another thing, as we already kind of talked about, is the boredom. I suggest you fill your boredom with the work on yourself. I do burpees every single day. You don't have to do burpees. You got to find your thing. And again, it's not so important on what you do, it's that you do it consistently and you do enough to where you're going to be proud at the end of the day. And then finally, something I call future tripping. It's a little uncomfortable when you're quitting drinking alcohol because you start thinking about the future. You're like, well, what am I going to do when my kids graduate college? How am I going to take a celebratory shot and this and that? That's crazy. This was me. This is what I used to go through is because I got baby twins. I got 3-year-old twins. I quit when they were coming home from the hospital 3 years ago. Well, what am I going to do when they're all grown? Am I going to quit forever? It's so hard and weird and uncomfortable to like picture 10 years from now, 20 years from now. You got to just drop that. Okay, this is not the present moment. It's called future tripping. You're tripping all out about the future, right? When you're tripping on the future, it creates anxiety. When you're tripping on the past, it creates shame and regret. And that's a low vibration as well. And that could drive you to drink, right? So what we need to do is when we catch ourselves future tripping, just call it like it is. Like, okay, I'm tripping about the future right now. Just relax, just relax. And these moments pass. But just call yourself out for what it is. Call yourself out when you catch yourself doing it. Just be like, all right, come on, calm down, right? So if you're worried about boredom, fill your boredom with the work on yourself. If you're worried about the future, remember, all right, I'm future tripping right now. Just stop this stuff. If you're still shameful about the past, the best way to heal from the past is if you can get yourself to a place where you're like, thank God this happened to me. Thank God this happened to me. Because if it didn't, I wouldn't be the person I am here today. That's healing right there. That's powerful. Right? If this wouldn't have happened to me, then I wouldn't be who I am today. And who am I today? I'm somebody who's making a difference in myself, everyone around me. Since I have been through some stuff and pain and whatnot, me overcoming and healing this pain, I can now help other people heal from their pain. And that's the whole point of me making these videos on alcohol. I'm talking to myself from 3 years ago, right? So it is a gift, everybody. It is a gift. And when you can overcome this, right? When you can check into the present moment, this same personality that just can't stop drinking, you're going to put the same personality into, I can't stop helping people. I can't stop improving. I can't stop fulfilling my commitments to myself. We must challenge we must channel all of this energy into constructive behavior, not destructive behavior. And it's going to start with keeping your commitments to yourself. Keep small commitments. Everything, right? I've gotten to the point now where I can't even walk past the sink. If there's dirty dishes in there, I got to clean it out. It's like this OCD. It's okay though. Hey, this is the personality of an addict, right? But keep your commitments to yourself. Okay, maybe it's a commitment. I'm never going to keep trash in my car. Maybe it's a commitment of I'm never going to let dirty dishes be sitting in the sink. Maybe it's a commitment of I'm going to make my shoes every day, or I'm going to make my bed every day. I'm going to put my shoes away as soon as I get home. I'm always going to, tell my partner or spouse that I love them. That's another one. Your partner or spouse needs to be fully on board. I've met many people who have quit drinking, but their spouse was kind of still drinking and not in full support. It ain't going to work. I'm telling you, I've never met somebody who fully quit drinking when their spouse was still kind of pushing it on them. Now, my spouse, my soon-to-be wife, she still drinks, but she doesn't have the addictive personality that we got. And when she drinks, and she knows my behavior, so she would never push it on me. She would never question it. She would never ask me like, how long are you going to do this for? Aren't you ever going to drink again? This not. If you're around somebody like that, that is like super negative, and you need to have a true come to Jesus heart to heart with this conversation and basically lay it out like this will be the end of our relationship if you do not respect what I'm doing, because this is the most important thing. Being sober, being the best version of yourself is by far your life's purpose. It is the most important thing. Being the best version of yourself is your soul's purpose. We've already talked about, I want to be, you're a spiritual being having a human experience, right? Well, what is your soul's purpose? It is to grow. It is to improve. It's not to diminish and be worse. You're here to be better. And there's nothing about personal development or self-improvement that comes from drinking alcohol and using drugs. We must remove it, especially with this personality that we have, which is a gift. And we're gonna shine this gift, shine this light onto positive aspects. we are going to become the best versions of ourselves, and that's going to allow us to help so many other people. So let's fill the boredom conversation with working on yourself physically and tracking your food. Pay attention to your food. Yes, if you're called towards junk food, I will tell you, junk food is better than alcohol. I've never heard of anybody crashing their car after eating a Whopper. However, pay attention, be like, okay, this is like a temporary fix. I'm filling a void right now. Look at it for what it is. And then know that the best version of yourself is likely going to start pulling you into a direction of more healthy food. And then working out, you don't have to go all crazy, but just start with fulfilling commitments to yourself. It could be, 10 push-ups a day. It could be whatever, but set all these small commitments and become somebody who never drops the ball on one of their commitments, right? And then finally, pay attention to that future tripping in the past, the anxiety of the future and the shame and the guilt from the past. Remember, when it comes to the past, if that wouldn't have happened to you, if you wouldn't have done this stuff, you wouldn't be the person who you are on today, the person who you are today, and the future hasn't even happened yet. You got to drop that. You're freaking out over nothing. Just call it for what it is. So everybody, I'm here for you on your journey. You can find me on Instagram at @TheRealDaveP. Feel free to leave a comment on this video. I reply to every single comment. I got your back, right? If you're even having the slightest inclination that maybe I should quit drinking, you should. That's that God, that's that energy flowing through you, giving you these little ideas. If you think you should, that means you should, right? It's because your soul, the intangible part of you, it just wants to thrive. It wants to sail. It wants to soar. And there is nothing about alcohol or drug use that's going to send you to a better place. It's just not. It creates shame. It creates regret, low vibration behavior. And, we're not here for that. We are here to heal ourselves so we can better serve and heal others. Everybody make it a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.